Good morning, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. It's Wednesday, February 25th, 2026, and this is your AM Update.
1 year, boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up.
President Trump delivers a lengthy State of the Union address. New details on the deadly cartel violence in Mexico after the raid that killed El Mencho.
It was good old-fashioned police work that got us to where we're at tonight.
An Idaho woman in custody after police say she stole an ambulance, packed it with gasoline, and drove it into a building tied to federal immigration authorities. And President Trump orders his administration to begin identifying and releasing information on UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, more commonly known as UFOs. Will we learn the truth about non-human intelligence? All that and more coming up in just a moment on your AM Update. International disputes, inflation, rising national debt, digital currency. There's a never-ending list of reasons gold has risen over 700% in the last 20 years. And a never-ending list of reasons smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals with Birch Gold Group. Gold can thrive during uncertainty, which is why it's a crucial part of a balanced financial strategy. It gives you peace of mind, given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text MK to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, consider letting Birch Gold help you diversify with gold so you too can have peace of mind, regardless of the uncertainty. Text MK to the number 989898. An affable Donald Trump ready to celebrate GOP accomplishments and spar with heckling Democrats taking to the joint session of Congress to proclaim,
The state of our union is strong.
the president outlining his vision for the nation while selling the good he's accomplished so far, especially on the economy.
The Biden administration and its allies in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country. But in 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%. Gasoline, which reached a peak of over $6 a gallon in some states under my predecessor, it was quite honestly a disaster, is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places, $1.99 a gallon. Mortgage rates are the lowest in 4 years and falling fast, and the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000 just since I took office. 1 year. The stock market has set 53 all-time record highs since the election. Think of that. 1 year. Boosting pensions, 401ks, and retirement accounts for the millions and millions of Americans. They're all gaining. Everybody's up.
Few new policies unveiled, but one has 83% support amongst the public. The SAVE Act. The president urging Congress to pass the bill, which would require proof of U.S. citizenship when registering to vote, arguing it is crucial for election integrity.
Perhaps most importantly, I'm asking you to approve the Save America Act to stop illegal aliens and others who are unpermitted persons from voting in our sacred American elections. That cheating is rampant in our elections. It's rampant. It's very simple. All voters must show voter ID. All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. And no more crooked mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. None. And this should be an easy one.
The president also pointing to what he called a historic crackdown at the southern border, arguing his policies have sharply decreased illegal crossings and reduced crime in America.
After 4 years in which millions and millions of illegal aliens poured across our borders, totally unvetted and unchecked, We now have the strongest and most secure border in American history by far. In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted to the United States. The flow of deadly fentanyl across our border is down by a record 56% in 1 year. And last year, the murder rate saw its single largest decline in recorded history. This is the biggest decline, think of it, in recorded history, the lowest number in over 125 years.
The address also featuring emotional moments as President Trump welcomed special guests seated in the chamber. Among them, Erica Kirk, the widow of the late Charlie Kirk, and the parents of 20-year-old National Guard member Sarah Beckstrom, who tragically lost her life in an ambush while patrolling D.C. last year. Mr. Trump also honoring the U.S. men's Olympic hockey team, celebrating their recent gold medal victory over Canada following a day spent hanging out at the White House.
Here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in. They beat a fantastic Canadian team in overtime, as everybody saw, as did the American women who will soon be coming to the White House. Because I've never seen a goaltender play as well as goalie Connor Hellebuck. That I will soon be presenting Connor with our highest civilian honor, which we will be given, and which has been given to many athletes over the years. But when I say many, not too many, like 12, it's called the highest civilian honor in our country, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
The president noting that not all Democrats stood for our guys, and shaming Dems for refusing to stand for other patriotic or moving tributes, like when the president honored Irina Zarutska, a Ukrainian refugee killed on a North Carolina train, whose mother stood wiping away tears.
We are honored to be joined tonight by a woman who's been through hell, Anya Zarutska. Last summer, 23-year-old Irina was riding home on the train when a deranged monster who had been arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal set free to kill in America. Mrs. Zarutska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina. How do you not stand? How do you not stand?
Democrats determined to stay away from their embarrassing tactics of last year, ditching their little false signs for name tags with messages like, "Release the Epstein files." Congresswoman Ilhan Omar of Minnesota breaking protocol several times, yelling at the president, "You killed Americans."
That is why I'm also asking you to end deadly sanctuary cities that protect the criminals and enact serious penalties for public officials who block the removal of criminal aliens. In many cases, drug lords, murderers all over our country, they're blocking the removal of these people out of our country, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Back in 2009, Congressman Joe Wilson was admonished by the House for shouting, "You lie," to then-President Obama during his address to Congress. Will Omar face similar discipline? For the Democrats' official response, newly elected governor of Virginia, Abigail Spanberger.
In his speech tonight, the president did what he always does. He lied, he scapegoated, and he distracted. And he offered no real solutions to our nation's pressing challenges, so many of which he is actively making worse.
Moving hearts and minds one monotone syllable at a time. We'll have full coverage and analysis later today on The MK Show. New details emerging in the U.S.-assisted operation by Mexican security forces on Sunday that killed top cartel boss Nemesio El Mencho Osegura. Mexican authorities revealing they located El Mencho by surveilling a close associate of one of his romantic partners, the associate escorting the woman to a rendezvous with the cartel leader at a rural hideout. The New York Times reporting U.S. officials briefed on the raid say information from the CIA had been, quote, instrumental in removing the cartel leader, the raid more deadly than previously reported. 8 cartel members killed in the initial gun battle, twice as many as originally stated. The operation underscoring deepening U.S. involvement in targeting cartels, the latest operation triggering violent cartel backlash, dozens of vehicles torched, roads blocked, with attacks reported across multiple regions. According to Mexican Secretary of Security Omar Garcia, 25 members of the Mexican National Guard, a member of the National Attorney's Office, and one civilian whom local outlets report was a pregnant woman were killed in the unrest. Garcia reporting 34 additional suspected cartel members also killed in the aftermath and 70 more people arrested. Coming up, police arrest an Idaho woman accused of stealing an ambulance, loading it with gas cans, and driving it into a building linked to DHS and ICE in an alleged arson attempt. And a cheeky comment from President Obama may just lead the government to true disclosure on aliens. Let's talk hot salt. Firecracker Farm hot salt, to be exact, the gold standard for its flavor, quality, and heart. This is not just a great gift, which it is. It's the secret to making everyday meals special and, quite frankly, delicious. If you are worried about it being too hot, look for Vanilla Heat. It's a wonderful, mild blend created by the founder, Alex, and his daughter, focused on gentle flavor over brute force. Alex and his family make every small batch on their farm, packaged in their signature precision stainless steel push grinders that feel solid in hand and are very satisfying to use. Stop settling for generic. Ready to see what you've been missing? Go to firecracker.farm and use code MK for 10% off your hot salt. Better get to know it now before they run out again. All right, get to it. One more time, that's firecracker.farm. Police arresting 43-year-old Sarah Elizabeth George of Boise, Idaho on Monday, accusing her of stealing an ambulance and attempting to set fire to a building housing DHS and ICE offices. According to a criminal complaint filed in the U.S. District Court for the District of Ohio, on February 18th at approximately 11 p.m., George allegedly stole a Canyon County paramedics ambulance parked outside St. Luke's Emergency Center in Meridian, Idaho. Roughly 4 minutes later, authorities say she stopped in a nearby lot, loading at least 2 gas cans and a plastic bag into the vehicle. At about 11:10 p.m., investigators alleging George drove the ambulance through the doors of a commercial building recently identified in news reports as containing DHS and ICE offices. According to the complaint, she stopped the ambulance inside the lobby, exited the vehicle, and poured gasoline on the floor. Authorities responding within minutes, prompting George to flee on foot. Investigators later recovering a plastic bag inside the ambulance containing a bottle of lighter fluid. Meridian Police Chief Tracy Bastarachia describing the extensive effort to identify the suspect.
Really, it was good old-fashioned police work that got us to where we're at tonight. These investigators literally went door to door looking for possible camera footage, possible witnesses, and other information and evidence stemming from I-84 to Fairview, from Locust Grove to Cloverdale. So if you can imagine that footprint and the amount of time it took them and the amount of effort that it took. This, coupled with their knowledge of technology, helped to identify George as our suspect.
Investigators say surveillance footage showed George returning to a Dodge Dakota pickup truck parked nearby after the incident and driving away. Authorities also recovering a Walmart receipt linked to George, timestamped roughly 2 hours before the attack, listing, quote, several items observed in George's possession during commission of the crime, including 2 gas cans. George's Facebook page showing a number of political images, including a post shared the morning of the attack depicting the White House burning. George adding the caption, quote, if it can be destroyed by the truth, then it should be destroyed. It was built in lies anyway. George now facing charges of malicious destruction of government property by fire and malicious destruction of property used in or affecting interstate commerce, each charge carrying a potential sentence of 5 to 20 years in prison. The investigation remains ongoing. Authorities say additional charges are possible. An offhand comment from former President Obama earlier this month fueling renewed speculation about extraterrestrial life, and now possibly leading to the feds finally fessing up about what they know. The viral moment coming during a podcast interview with Brian Tyler Cohen, when Mr. Obama was asked directly if aliens are real, responding, quote, "They're real, but I haven't seen them." The remark, though quickly walked back by Mr. Obama, igniting a wave of curiosity. President Trump apparently taking it very seriously last week aboard Air Force One.
Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it, Peter?
Well, the president can declassify anything that he wants to, so if you want to make an announcement.
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying.
Later that evening, Mr. Trump posting to Truth Social, directing the Department of War and other parts of his administration to begin identifying and releasing files related to potential non-human intelligence, unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs, unidentified flying objects, or UFOs, and also, quote, any and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. The key questions now, will any of it lead to meaningful disclosures? A source familiar with the process tells us the president's directive represents a huge step forward in gaining access to information previously stonewalled by defense officials. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth saying yesterday his department has already begun reviewing the files.
Did you ever think that you would be the Secretary of War in charge of potentially declassifying extraterrestrial life, the American people?
I did not. I did not have that on my bingo card at all.
And are you prepared to do that now?
Of course. I mean, we've got our people working on it right now. I don't want to oversell how much time it will take, right? We're digging in. We're going to be in full compliance with that executive order, eager to provide that for the president. So there'll be more coming on that as far as the process of what we'll do.
And what sort of time frame? Do you have any sense for how long this is going to take?
I don't have a time frame for you yet, but stand by. We'll get it for you.
And you give us the latest on what's happening.
What?
Do you think aliens exist?
We'll see. I get to do the review and find out.
Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna of Florida, one of the leading voices pushing for UAP transparency, responding on X, quote, I'm looking forward to working with both the Secretary of War and Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, to fulfill President Trump's agenda for declassification on the subject of UAPs. The American people will finally receive transparency on the issue. The word disclosure rather popular in recent months. The documentary Age of Disclosure, released this past November, exploring the issue, while Steven Spielberg's fictional film Disclosure Day is set for release in June. Could real disclosure finally be coming? The truth is out there. And that'll do it for your AM update. I'm Megyn Kelly. Join me back here for the MK Show, live on SiriusXM's The Megyn Kelly Channel, 111 at noon East, on youtube.com/Megyn Kelly, and on all podcast platforms.